Hello, I'm Mary, and you're listening to Better English. A while ago, during a very ordinary conversation with old friends, I noticed something interesting. The biggest changes in our lives didn't come from dramatic decisions. They didn't come from sudden breakthroughs. They came from small habits, repeated consistently over time. Some habits sound simple, even boring, but years later, they quietly shape how we think, how we treat others, and how we treat ourselves. In today's episode, I want to share 9 small habits like these. Not to change your life overnight, but to help you gently shift your life in a healthier, more sustainable direction. And the first habit is one that saved me a huge amount of mental energy. Habit 1. Stop spending energy on hating people. A close friend once said something that really stayed with me. Either you genuinely care about someone, or you don't give them your energy at all. At first, it sounded a bit extreme, but the older I get, the more true it feels. When we hate someone, we don't just dislike them. We think about them constantly. We analyze, criticize, and carry emotional weight with us. And the first person who suffers is always us. I once heard this metaphor. Hating someone is like holding poison in your mouth, hoping the other person gets hurt. The truth is, if you truly don't care, you won't pay attention. So instead of hating, I choose to scroll past. Instead of reacting, I choose silence. Instead of trying to fix others, I focus on protecting my own boundaries. This doesn't mean loving everyone. It means choosing who deserves your energy and who doesn't need a deep place in your life. This habit made my mind much lighter. And when your mind is light, life naturally feels easier to breathe in. One habit completely changed how I remember information and understand myself. And it's very simple. Read, write, reflect. Many people read books, listen to podcasts, and watch videos non-stop. But weeks later, they can't remember what they learned. Not because they're incapable, but because the knowledge never truly became theirs. Here's my process. First, read or listen fully. Take in the information without immediately judging it. Second, write it down. Note the ideas that make you pause. It doesn't have to be perfect or long, just honest. And most importantly, reflect. Ask yourself, how does this connect to my life? When have I acted this way before? What do I want to do differently now? When you link a lesson to your own experience, it stops being external information. It becomes internal understanding. And the best part? You don't have to force yourself to remember. You remember naturally. Many people tell me they hate small talk. They think it's shallow, meaningless, or fake. And I get it. But the truth is, not everyone in your life is meant for deep conversations right away. Out of 100 people you meet, only a few will have the right timing, environment, and connection to become truly close. The rest are social relationships, and small talk is the bridge that creates comfort. Small talk isn't about showing off. It's not about impressing anyone. It's simply a way of saying, one effective way to small talk is by asking open-ended questions. Instead of, do you like it? Try, what do you enjoy most about your work right now? How do you usually relax after a long day? Simple questions like these give people space to share. And when you practice small talk enough, meeting new people stops feeling awkward. You know how to start. You know when to continue. And you know when to end politely. That's not shallow. That's social intelligence. One small habit completely changed how I work. Working with my energy, not against it. Not every day comes with the same level of energy. Some days you feel focused, clear, and productive. Other days you feel tired, heavy, and slow. The biggest mistake is expecting yourself to perform at the same level every single day. Instead, I learned to store energy when full. On high energy days, I do more than usual. I prepare ahead. I record extra content. I write more. So that on low energy days, I allow myself to slow down and use what I prepared before. This isn't laziness, it's strategy. Life isn't a straight line. It has highs and lows. When you accept that, you stop blaming yourself for slow days. You simply ask, how much energy do I have today? And how can I use it wisely? And when you move with your body's rhythm, you go further, not faster. When something painful happens, our first reaction is often, why me? Why do I have to go through this? I've been there too. Hurt, confused, and stuck inside questions with no answers. Over time, I realized that the question itself decides whether we stay in pain or grow through it. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? I learned to ask, what is this teaching me? That question doesn't erase the pain right away, but it opens a door. You begin to reflect. What boundaries did I ignore? Where do I need to grow? How am I learning to protect myself? Some lessons only arrive when life forces us to slow down and look deeper. Not every hardship has a beautiful reason, but every hardship carries a lesson, if you're willing to learn. And when you change the question, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become a student of life. One major reason plans fail is because they're too vague. We often say, I want to be healthier. I want to grow. I want a better life. But the problem is, your brain doesn't know how to act on vague desires. When things aren't clear, you don't search, you don't plan, and eventually, you don't start. I learned this. Clarity creates action. When I say, this month I'll do Pilates 2 to 3 times a week, I ask friends, search for studios, book a trial class. But when I say, I want to create content, it's hard to begin. When I say, I'll post 2 YouTube videos a week for 3 months, everything becomes clear. Being specific doesn't increase pressure. It actually frees your energy because you no longer wonder, what should I do next? If you feel stuck, ask yourself, how can I make this desire a little more specific? Just 10% more clarity already puts you ahead of most people. One principle changed many of my relationships. Be selective at the beginning, gentle later. Many people do the opposite. They start out easygoing, easy to befriend, easy to date, easy to work with. But once they get close, things become heavy, frustrating, and full of disappointment. Why? Because standards were ignored at the start. When you choose carefully in the beginning, only the right people enter your life. And then, living and working together becomes much easier. Being selective doesn't mean being cold or harsh. It simply means you know what matters to you. You know what you can't accept, and you're willing to say it clearly. When boundaries are set early, people know how to respect you. And once trust is built, you don't have to protect yourself all the time. You can be soft, kind, and at ease. Hard first, easy later. That's not selfish. That's maturity. One habit becomes more important as you grow older. State your boundaries early. Many people stay silent because they're afraid of upsetting others, afraid of being seen as difficult, afraid of seeming selfish. So they endure. They compromise. They say, "It's fine," while feeling uncomfortable inside. The problem is, what you don't say early becomes conflict later. When you don't express your boundaries, people get used to crossing them. And one day, when you finally speak up, you're seen as the one who changed, or who lacks empathy. Speaking early isn't confrontation. It's healthy communication. For example, "I don't work after 9 p.m. I need notice. I don't do last-minute requests. When I'm tired, I need personal space." These statements may feel uncomfortable at first, but in the long run, they help people understand and respect you. Lose comfort first, so you don't lose yourself later. When I start overthinking, feeling anxious, or emotionally stuck, I ask myself one simple question. Will this matter in 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is no. Some moments feel overwhelming right now. A hurtful comment, a relationship ending, a mistake that feels embarrassing. But when you place it in a longer timeline, you realize many pains are just small moments in a long life. The 5-year question doesn't make you cold. It helps you put emotions into perspective. If this won't matter in 5 years, do you really need to punish yourself over it today? And if 5 years from now, you'll thank your current self for being brave, letting go, choosing growth, then maybe now is the time to act. Life will always bring challenges. You can't avoid pain. But you can choose what deserves your energy.